Good news, everyone! So today we're going to be testing stuff into Guild War without any prior experience whatsoever. What could possibly go wrong? Well, we'll find out a little bit later. But first and foremost, we're going into a Zeo and Illynav, of all things, and a ae-KARINA. So, the big thing that this guy's doing is, hey, Zeo's there, he's going to do big fucking damage, because he's also going to get the crit damage buff from the Illynav, and the ae-KARINA is kind of like the anchor of the team, so that you can't go more into the other units, because then she gives herself a defense buff, and she also gives the whole team barrier. So, what I decided to do is, well, what if I had a blue unit that even the red unit has to, like, yeah, because they're just all going to go into Aria because of the stealth that she's going to provide with her S3. So I'm just going to have everything go into my Aria and hope that this all kind of works out. Now, it does because I get fairly lucky. Like, look at that right there. Zeo had Death Break right there, and he wasn't able to get off his second attack. So this ultimately really does work out just from taking in the just taking the hits and then counterattacking them back. Now, this could be a lot better. And the reason I say it could be better is because Christy doesn't necessarily feel like she is super needed for this. I only brought Christy because there is always a possibility that the ae-KARINA could be rocking like 150 effectiveness, because nobody ever really builds an actual damage ae-KARINA. They either build her to be like really, really thick and like a super tanky wall kind of thing, or they build her to like have a bunch of effectiveness to just death break the shit out of your units. Because I only had 160 effect resist on my Aria, I don't have Bastion of Hope on her, and I'm only rocking like the extra 100 effect resist from Christy. So I could have possibly done this without Christy, and I could have brought a better damage mitigator. It worked out, so we'll just go ahead and move on. The next thing that I wanted to try out, because this is a pretty typical Conqueror, Lilias, Senya, Choux, and I usually bring this team into Conqueror, Lilias, Senya, Choux, which is Shadow Knight, Pyllis, Arunka, and Roana. Now, the big difference that I really did was I took out the Ubris's Tooth that's on Arunka, and I decided to try out Chloe's artifact, which is the like the Little Maid's Crown artifact. It just gives her more damage on barriered units and also makes her single target attacks even stronger. But whenever I was testing it out, like, I mean, for starters, don't do what I'm doing here. Like, I'm being next-level gigabrain retarded. So we're going to go ahead and just say, like, what we're doing here is RNG manipulation. Because, like, look at that. That was 2 15% on the Arunka. Totally RNG manip, guys. So, yeah, just don't do this. But here's the attack where we go into Choux. And I'm expecting this to kill. And it doesn't. It only did 19k. Because I'm really starting to think just having attack buff over having the Little Queen's artifact, or like Little Queen Chloe artifact, whatever. We'll call it Chloe's artifact, just the barrier artifact. It just feels like attack buff is far, far, far more valuable. So for this, I probably would have done immensely better just to bring Mediator Kawerik or any other attack buffer that I could have like just slotted in for her place. Now, Mediator Kawerik works because he's a dark unit. Conqueror Lilias is going to be aiming into him. But then you're also going to be dealing with the whole fact that Arunka's going to go first before him because of the CR boosts and all that other shit. Like, it's a fucking mess. Like, because it does kind of make me consider maybe with Arunka, I should probably slow her down even more. Like, she's only like, what, 200-something speed? So she's not even really that fast. But she still gains enough CR boosts from things like this right here, where at the very beginning of a turn, she'll, like, mess up all the orders and stuff. Because you mainly want, like, your Mediator Kawerik to go first, and he's not going to go first in the very initial startup of it, because I have Warhorn on him, and I need 3 turns from the enemy before he can really go. So you're sacking 1 turn, just so you can get, like, that attack buff off and just utterly annihilate these units. So we do have an example of using Mediator Kawerik at the end of the video, where I am still using the Little Queen Chloe artifact to go into this same similar kind of comp. We'll get to that whenever we get to it near the end, and I'll just kind of share my thoughts on it. I'm kind of still really leaning towards, I think I would much rather have Ubris's Tooth. 2 reasons. One, Ubris's Tooth is just extremely effective on Arunka because you're rocking like almost 6k, close to 7k attack. And that just really, really helps the damage of the additional damage from Uberus's Tooth. And if you happen to get a proc where she attacks twice, like, that's just even more damage. I just think it's more valuable than doing more damage on a barrier unit. So, hey, cool, welcome to this next fight right here against a Zio, Senya, and a Choux. I ain't even going to sugarcoat it. I picked a really, really, really stupid comp to go into this. Yeah, it's Christy, Aria, and Destina. And basically, I'm about to get utterly fucking stomped by this Senya and Choux. So I wanted to go into this with the same kind of idea that I did for the last time I used Aria, just to see, like, the counterattacks going in, and hopefully, like, being able to out-heal the damage that's going to be done to me. Little did I remember, because I am a complete fucking retard, you're going into Senya. Senya, that's a 50% chance of you missing, because she's green, and if you miss on Senya, it hurts you even more, because if you miss, or if you do not crit Senya, well, you just straight up take reflect damage based on her attack. So this compounds, and you start to just take more and more and more damage. So, like, right here, I'm already looking dangerously close to dead, but thankfully, I'm able to kill the Zio right here. But then, you know, Choux being Choux, the wonderful little rat that she is, just kills me with 3 turns that go right into me. And that's not even a full crit Choux. So, I'm attempting, real quick, okay, I'm going to see if I can revive. They're both at the top of the CR bar, so I should be able to get to my Destina to heal. And I completely missed that the Senya had speed buff. And because of that speed buff, she's able to easily, like, just lap me and then kill me. So here's my question to you guys. How many times do you think Aria dies in this fight? Like, I know the answer, and I'll reveal it at the very end, but how many times do you think that this happens? So, basically what we're in here, this is just a complete fight of the same thing happening over and over and over again, is just trying to survive and just trying to kill these units. Because this is a pretty prime example of why you have to actually respect this comp. I went into this with complete disrespect. Because what I could have done is I brought Christy with me just in case I'm dealing with, like, some really, really bad effectiveness on the Senya. That's the only reason why she's there. Honestly, completely unnecessary to do that. I probably would have been far, far, far better off if I were to bring, instead of Destina, perhaps a Roana, and then Troublemaker Crozet to protect my Aria. I think that would have probably worked a lot better. Or I could have just brought any of my typical Shadow Knight Pyllis teams, because, I mean, I know my speeds of my units, I know who Zio is going to go into, and then I can just kind of tank it out. Because, like anytime you guys have seen Senyas and you've seen Choux, they're basically just these big, huge brick shithouse HP units, but they have no defense. And the reason why they have no defense is because they have to, like, they have to put all their stats into all these other, like, offensive stats, or effectiveness for Senya if they're going to be going that route, or effect resist for Senya because they don't want to get stripped. So then you just have these below HP units, but they have, like, all these other spread stats in these other ways, so that's the only bulk that they have, which is the only reason why I'm able to win this. Like, we're going through this extremely slow. We started off at, like, in the 70s of, like, 70 turns remaining, and then we go all the way down to, like, draw available. That's how fucking long this fight went. It went for roughly 11 minutes. And I was debating on if I wanted to actually cut the fight and just go to the end, or show you guys just all the crazy shit that happened. Because, like, this is all it is. That's why I fast-forwarded it. But we're getting close to the end of it. So, how many times do you guys think that Aria died? Were you able to count during the speed-up? I'll go ahead and I'll tell you. 7. 7 fucking times. She died 7 times. Now, here is a fight that I've been wanting to do for a hot minute. So this is Destina, Apocalypse Ravi, and an ae-KARINA. So I was like, there's only one unit on this team that actually has an excessive amount of effect resist, and that should just be the Destina. Theoretically, if I'm able to get the S2 off on my Death Dealer Ray, I should be able to bypass that with my Sharun, because she already has a fairly decent amount of effectiveness, and I should be able to actually inflict Venom on that Destina, because that's the only actual wall that's on this team, is the Destina. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to give it a try. Now, the reason why I'm going just ham hocks wild onto the ae-KARINA is the ae-KARINA is the only other unit that can actually pose a threat, because she can go into my other two units, my Death Dealer Ray or my Magic Scholar Doris. I would much rather her go into Magic Scholar Doris, but that's the only reason why I'm going into her right now. And also, just the weaker an ae-KARINA is, the better off you're going to be. Because then you just don't have... Like, you can just kind of effortlessly kill it. And I'm also really proving that this isn't an effect resist ae-KARINA. It's really just a typical ae-KARINA. She didn't have too much HP either. But either way, we have our Apocalypse Ravi completely, like, baited with the Magic Scholar Doris. Destina's there just to provide, like, a little bit of annoying cleansing. Thankfully, we've already gone through her, like, big S3. So we don't have to worry about that for a little bit. We still have to deal with the S2, but we're getting very, very close to where the deciding factor of all the horrible shit that's going to happen. So Death Dealer Ray is like an incremental character. You know, like all these characters we've been getting recently where they just start getting stronger the longer the fight goes. The funny thing about Death Dealer Ray is he's just a focus character, but he feels like an incremental increase character. Because as soon as he hits his first S3, he starts to zoom. Because, like, we're already at one use of the S3, and we're back to 3 focus. And if you get any dual attacks at any time, you're just ready, you're primed and ready to use the S3 again. Because the S3 gives you an extra turn, that's more cooldown reduction for your S2, and you can just use that to zoom along on the CR bar. And I have mine on Magahara Tome, so that he just goes even faster whenever he gets that opportunity. I don't know what his current best-in-slot artifact really is, but it does feel very, very fun. So we already have access to his S3 again. So what does Death Dealer Ray do? So his S2, he gives everybody Pestilence. That inflicts Venom, and if you have the effectiveness, you can just straight up spread Venom like a madman, and he's also the one on his S1. He is the one who detonates it. So what does the S3 do? The S3 has a chance to sleep, and it also has a chance to spread more Venom. And the big thing that it does is it inflicts 80% of the injury damage that they have accrued onto their kit. So, if you've ever used Illynav, you kind of understand how this works. So if you hit an enemy with Punish with Illynav and they have injury, they take more damage based on how much injury that they have in terms of additional damage. So because we were able to just hit that effectiveness threshold on the Destina with our Sharun and with our Death Dealer Ray, she's dead. So now all we have left is Apocalypse Ravi. The only unit she can even attack is Magic Scholar Doris, and she's already utterly crippled. This team is evil. Absolutely evil. You feel very, very, very bad when you use it. Because just right here, this is the death-killing blow right here, and Shazam. Absolutely disgusting. And you know what's even worse than that? If I brought Solitary of the Snow. Solitary of the Snow and Death Dealer Ray are actually toxic. So, here we go into another fight that I do not recommend any of you do. It's stupid. So, hey, there's Ran. Let's bring Benimaru into that. Well, that's already a bad idea. Let's bring Benimaru into Ran, Mercedes, and Rimuru. Well, that's straight up suicidal. So, in order to cover my ass and make myself feel like I'm a far better player at the game than I am, I'm just going to go ahead and straight up say, hey guys, this is just all RNG manipulation. Because the reason why I say it's RNG manipulation is the Mercedes never uses magic for friends throughout the entire fight. Yo, this is totally RNG manip. And like right here, more RNG manip. We didn't miss on the Rimuru, so we killed it. Yeah, man, I'm so good at this game. Woo-hoo-hoo. Holy shit. But, okay, so in all seriousness, we killed one of the biggest threats, which is the Rimuru. So, with Rimuru gone, now all we have to deal with is Ran, and we have to deal with Mercedes. So, I went for a basic heal with Ruele onto Krau. This way, we can just kind of survive a little bit longer. And this fight, in general, really does kind of make me consider, perhaps I should swap my Krau to a Revenge set. I was thinking for a long, long time to like try and do maybe a lifesteal set, just so you can horse longer and like last throughout the fights longer. But I just never really got around to it. And I don't know, I'm actually curious for everyone's opinion. What do you think's better, revenge set or a lifesteal set? Yeah, go ahead and throw it at me. I'm kind of interested. But either way, we brought back Benimaru in hopes that we would be able to move further down on the CR bar so we could get a Hell Flare off. And here, I'm just playing an extremely dangerous game of chicken. Like I said before, hey guys, this is RNG manipulation. Totally RNG manip. We're not getting any magic for friends. I'm so good at this game. So what we did is we were able to luck our way through this shit. We had no magic for friends proc, and so now we're able to kill the Mercedes once. So we killed Mercedes, but we still have to go through Ran and Mercedes one more time, and hey, looky there, Benimaru and Ruele are now dead. So thankfully for that, we still have Horse available. So we're going to use Horse to go into Mercedes, and now we're going to have ourselves a wonderful speed race with this Ran. So let's see if we manage to beat this motherfucker. So what we have to do is we have to go through 2 more turns so we can get Horse back. Once again, hey guys, this is RNG manipulation. I'm not playing bad on purpose because I could have soul burned that horse so I could get it back faster. No, totally not. I'm totally not playing this game like a retard. This is RNG manip. So then we go in here, we get our provoke, and we survive this hit on 400 HP remaining, get our last horse, and Shazam. All skill. Okay, so here's Roana, Arunka, and Mediator Kawerik. We're going into basically another Senya Choux comp. Who was the other one? So yeah, it's Unbound Knight Arowell. And this is what really kind of confirms for me where I think I'm just going to swap back to Ubris's Tooth. I was expecting this to kill, and it didn't kill. So it only did 28k, so the Arowell was very, very thick. Okay, yeah, I mean, what can you say? I was at least expecting that to kill, and it didn't. If I had Ubris's Tooth, it probably would have. But then again, I don't know. You just never know with these kind of damages, because Arunka's buff is brand new. We haven't really had a lot of opportunity to really test it. But I think I'm kind of convinced I'm going to go back to Ubris's Tooth. I just think it's more valuable. But either way, so we've already utterly crippled the Unbound Knight Arowell. All we have to do is really like go into her, and we just get an extra attack. Oh, okay, cool. We don't get an extra attack. Cool, Arunka. Very cool. So now Unbound Knight Arowell's dead, and we just have to go into Choux and Senya. Now, what I'm going to attempt is I'm going to try and manipulate this team just a bit to see if I can get Senya to go through her turns quick enough. So like right here is the first S2 that she does. So that gives the barrier that was on Choux an additional turn. So I have 2 more turns to go on Arunka before I can use the S3 again because I didn't kill with it on Arowell. So I'm going to just use this time to only go into Senya. And the only reason I'm doing that is for the heals on Roana, and so that I do not break the barrier that's on Choux. Because I'm going to see just how much damage I can effectively do. I decided to go for the Soul Burn on Mediator Kawerik because I just want more turns of attack buff. Because I think I still have 1 more turn to go on Arunka, and we're a little bit behind, so I'm a little bit afraid that I'm not going to make it. But ultimately, we do end up making it. So like these little tiny baby pushes, they kind of work out. Like if you look up there at the top, it looks like I'm not going to hit it. But thankfully, we just barely have enough speed, CR, all that other fun shit, where we're able to beat the Choux to it, and then we go for the S3. So how much damage do you think, boys? It's pretty big, but it feels like it's not worth it. So yeah, 34k. So that's not bad, but I think you would just get much more value out of having Ubris's Tooth to do additional damage whenever you're off of your S3 turns, and I don't know, it just feels like it's more valuable to me. I mean, I could be wrong, hey, but yeah. That right there is pretty much evidence of me. I'm going to go back to Ubris's Tooth. But either way, yeah, that was a fun Guild War. It was meant to be a Aria video, and that just didn't work out. I was gonna make something just Aria related, and then then we just got utterly trolled by Team 2, and then I decided to try out Death Dealer Ray. That was really, really fun, and also just straight up for Death Dealer Ray, don't build him like I have him built. Like if you want to build like an effective Death Dealer Ray, just slot that motherfucker with tons of speed, because you ideally want him to go first. Because if he does, then he's gonna turn cycle better, and he's also gonna like CR boost the team that's in the back. Then they'll all have like effectiveness buff. They'll all have pestilence, and then you can be able to just like really cycle through shit. Which is why he works really, really well with Solitaria of the Snow, because Solitaria is super fast. You go with the S3 first on her, and then you go with him, you boost, and then whoever your third unit is, doesn't really matter. And that's just kind of how you work with him. Like it's fun, but it's like it's like a one-trick kind of bony kind of thing, which is why it was really interesting to at least do that whole fight with 3 Soul Weavers, something I was wanting to do for a while. But hey, that's just how it is. In other news, hey, who's all hyped for the new Persona 3 remake? Here's hoping that it's good, man. I just hope that they maintain quality of life that we've gotten in the most recent games, because I don't want to go back to playing OG Persona 3. But hey, thanks for watching my video, guys. If you liked it, please leave a like, and if you want to see more of my content, please hit subscribe. Have a good one. Later.